Yeah, I guess.
Can I roll like nature to see if it makes sense that the wyverns will be back considering the season?
Sure. Wyverns are monsters. They hunt all around, and they would in fact be hunting more now, preparing for winter when the game is scarce. The fact that you haven't seen any of them, at least close enough, yeah, that's worse.
That makes sense. They should be hunting now because winter's coming in. Now, my vote is that we set traps for them and we try and take them out.
Will that work?
Well, we'll need to do some scouting and track them down.
Now, when I'm looking at the calendar, where is the next full moon? It was not already the full moon is sitting. It has to be the confluences. Yeah. So it'll be next month. Let's see. Let's look at the calendar, which it should be.
Is the day that this meeting happening still under full moon?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the full moon lasts more than a day, I think.
Okay. I know this will probably do absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But he would like to spend time before we go back meditating and trying to see if he can get any insights into just what's coming next. Because she said stuff was happening. He doesn't know. He'll even expend a spell slot, 3rd level, whether it does anything or not, to try and reach out to nature.
Do you have any divination spells?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, don't.
Yep,
yeah.
Fully aware.
You concentrate, you try, but no visions from your mistress come to mind, at least not yet. Then again, the fact that she was here in a temple dedicated to Elona, well,
yep, that was that was why he did this, to see if this was the guidance or if this was the step to the guidance.
Guy hanging around with dummies is annoying. Hanging out with self-righteous creatures pretending to be smart, infuriating. Well.
Oh, the irony in that statement.
So much of it.
Is there a traditional sort of meal connected to Elona and the full moon? Like
really?
Like specific animal, like deer or anything like that, or no?
No, not really.
Okay.
On the way back, on the top of my head, no.
On the way back, he would do a fair amount of hunting to bring back food. He has a battle cat which he can strap this stuff to the back of.
Okay. So you're back. So you're back at the and after a couple of days, you're back again. Now, based on what you're creating, your domain, stuff like that, and also you're going to build your forces, which is a part of the situation. So let's go about building forces and see if you are going to spend this season do anything about that. Let's look at unit traits, because you already have several units. Actually, they have to be converted to these rules, because these rules are more expensive.
Yeah, I believe was just posted several cards. I believe they are standardized from what I remember Theta saying before.
Yeah.
And we essentially have a bunch of infantry.
Yes.
That's nice.
You choose any of them 4 picks.
Right.
Can you double pick?
2 instead of 1.
Yeah, we could definitely pick more than one of these if we really want to.
But
peasants can't be upgraded, but if we use one of our choices for that, then 2 for 1.
Yeah, because Hugh would definitely go longbow.
Yeah, I think like 1 cav, 1 missile, and then 2 infantry is probably good.
So 1 cav, 1 Archer.
Why
two
don't we
infantry.
split it infantry, archer, cavalry, then two
I guess we could do 2 peasants for
Two
some
peasant.
extra
Um,
for some extra melee.
I think I'd rather have like the trained soldiers initially, at
Okay.
least.
Let's see.
I believe that one of the things about
they're gonna
levies
have
is that
better
they're
stats.
they're easier to raise, but they have poorer morale.
Right, so we can definitely grab as many peasants as we want later on.
They have
Okay.
a -1 to their morale, whereas the soldiers have a +1.
Mhm.
Along
Yeah.
with other better stats.
Because it only makes sense for Hugh to be directly in charge and commanding the archers.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the abstract, we take our forces right now, spend the winter training them up, and we'll end up with a cavalry, an archer, and 2 infantry instead of 4 infantry.
Yeah, let's go.
Works for me.
And we have a cavalier already. So that'll
Yep.
help. That'll be a good companion.
Now, in the meantime, as you're starting making decisions, Barakat, remember that little thing that you got, right? That message stuff.
Yes.
You hear like a voice. You have it on you, or do you have it
On me.
in somewhere? You have it on you. You hear a voice coming into your mind. Barakat. Barakat, is that you?
Yes. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Do I Is
You
it
recognize the voice, it's your master.
Okay, cool.
But it sounds tired. Exhausted. Good
Okay.
thing, like, finally we will contact you, my boy. In order to retrieve this.
Uh,
It's gone, everything has gone wrong. Everything. We're trapped on the other side of the gate. On this strange land. Most of my expedition is dead. I'm trying to avoid them. But if they capture me, it'll be over soon.
where?
I do not know exactly. But I know it has to be through the moon gate.
The moon. Which one? Does it matter?
Well, yes, it matters. Now, you tell me where you are, so I can give you some sense of direction.
I'm south of Narwhal, which is south of Greyhawk.
Narwhal. Yes, Narwhal. I visited that place on my search for the moon gate. Yes. I can give you some directions. They'll not be exact, but the gate should be southeast, past the river, in the forest, from Narwhal. The second river. The second bend in the river. Right.
To be clear, is that southeast or just southeast?
Southeast.
Okay.
So if this is Narwhal,
Yep.
it'll be in this direction, past the second bend of the river.
Okay, so somewhere over here.
Yes. I must go. I must keep quiet, or they will find me. But please, if you can find a way to activate the gate. What they're doing here, what they have, is too dangerous. If they get it, there will be a lot of suffering. I'm sorry I didn't contact you sooner, but I was detained.
At this point,
and it goes quiet.
yeah, at this point, I think Barakat is just kind of like standing still wherever he is in shock, doing literally nothing.
No,
Like
we're not
1,000
time
yard,
jumping yet. This is
like
happening.
1,000 yard stare.
Yeah. You can time jump because you'll need to do the thing for the gate to work. But yeah,
Okay.
I get. Do you just like sit there for hours or something as people pass by and whatnot?
I mean, definitely for a while. I don't know if like hours, probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Yeah, it is a big time jump.
All right. And to clarify, we've already traveled back to our keep. Was that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. So, Bearcat, are you going to bring this news over to Kix? Or share it with anyone?
Um,
Back at the
I'm going to bring it to Kix, but not very descriptively. Like kind of vague.
Right.
You know, there's a thing out west. It's
Oh, right. You
important
said you wanted to go adventuring back when we were at the fair. I'm so sorry. I didn't get a whole lot of you at the time. I was so busy with everything, but so what exactly is it that we're going out there for? The thing?
Well, yes, there's this um there's a thing out to the west in the forest that me and
A place, a
Gar have
person?
some knowledge about it. It's sort of like a portal, I guess is the correct terminology.
Oh, more portal madness, I
Hmm.
suppose. All right. Where
Um,
does it go?
Gar is the one that knows more about these kind of things. I don't know where it goes. It's just important to me to try and open it.
That sounds a little bit vague. I would like to know at least where it will go or who it'll bring, but
Um,
Asking the questions he doesn't know the answers to.
yeah. I'm not sure exactly. What I do know is that there is a group of things searching for something, and if we don't prevent that, lots of bad things are going to happen.
when you say group of things, who exactly are you referring to? Or is this the orc menace to our south,
Was
rival,
simply
or
described as they.
they? Well, that's vague.
Yes.
As said every character who's encountered it so far.
Pretty
So
much.
we're gonna go to this place and do a thing. Because if we don't do this thing will happen,
So,
and
so you
it's
don't
not
know what
good.
the thing that you have to do is, but you know you do have to do it. But what is it then? I
Look, I I must go speak with Gar about this, but that's
please,
the basic
please do.
gist. Um,
Whenever you're done with him, if he has anything to report about what it is, who they are, or what possible dangers it could serve, bring that back to me. And if it's as dangerous or as important as I think you want to make it out to be, then we should probably head out post haste. So while you're there, tell Gar we intend to leave again.
all right, yeah, I'm gonna go to Gar. Um, be a bit more descriptive. Gar, I've received a message. There's a moon gate out towards our west in the forest. Um, and you're aware of what we talked about last time, with my mentor. Uh, but you remember what we talked about with my mentor and him kind of looking into that. He's on the other side. And there's some group of things there with some very bad intentions.
You see,
An
An
astrolabe.
astrolabe,
Probably.
maybe.
yeah, you probably have an astrolabe. Yeah, in order to keep, calculating the different, moon phases and the like. Yeah, the positions of the stars and other planets. Yeah. Indicate towards such and a series of unrolled scrolls beneath.
That's not great. Uh, do you know if there's any other way of getting them open than just waiting? Hmm. Well, maybe we should uh, go out there and just find it to begin with and see what we can learn. Along with kicks and heal and such. We'd at least know exactly where it is then.
You've spent enough time with Hugh. You know if he were to go out looking while you guys figured out what to do, I could move hidden at regular speed
Uh-huh.
without disturbing anything, and also figure out if there is any predators in that area. It's all part of my my explorer.
Right. Because it is all forest there.
Yeah, so if you give that a read over, me
Well,
going by myself, I can be pretty much a ghost.
can't get lost. Stealthy. No difficult terrain. I think the only concern is if it's somehow like magically hidden or something.
I also have a high perception.
Okay.
I have +6 to my perception.
Well, I guess we could direct Hugh while we do some more research.
So Hugh, you're planning to go out and scout.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least him.
Okay.
Like, I can literally turn into a panther, have 40 feet of movement, ignore difficult terrain, stay hidden, and keep all of my abilities.
Mm.
What do you think, Gar? Yes. You already have everything you can get on them, or would we be able to find more if we send Hugh out to scout and we work on that, or?
Hmm.
Oh.
But do you know if there's anything else you can do to learn more, or like would it be better for us to go as a group? We might even be able to ask some of the elves if they know anything. Yeah, that is a thing. Yeah. Well, we could just send Hugh out to go find it. Um, or we could try and go as a group and see if we can learn anything, or even just have Hugh ahead of us while we go.
So what is
Yeah. Well, assuming the orcs are going to do something in this area, and that is a threat to us specifically.
Contested territory.
Yeah, there's Mr. Edgelord. So then I suppose we should just send Hugh out for now to scout and then start to investigate further while also dealing with our other current worries.
so Hugh? You're gonna go out there alone, okay? That's what you're gonna do.
Yes.
Okay then.
Plan our defenses for when we do go. So yeah, yeah. All right. I'm gonna go back to Kix and talk a bit more.
Let's.
Like, we came up with the idea of sending Hugh out to go scout for it, and keeping our things good here and prepping defenses in case something happens when we do go, and still being kind of nondescript, but urging on that if we don't go and figure out what is happening, bad things are probably going to happen to us.
Well, I would like vaguely describe bad things to not happen, of course.
Yeah.
And you don't even know where it is either. So simply
Well, I have
wandering out and hoping we
directions.
find it wouldn't be great.
I have a general area of directions.
Those tend to not be the best directions to follow. Still, if he was going to go out and scout, this is good. I'm sure he
Yeah.
can find it. The forest is his domain, after all.
It's his domain.
He's our
He
master
has
of arms now, but
directions.
while he's gone, I can handle training the troops and rallying the men and make sure that we're ready for any unwanted surprises.
One, he
Yeah.
does have a training program set up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's unnecessarily brutal in the fact that he doesn't really know that you can use wooden weapons. And he doesn't believe that weapons such as blades could be made of wood because it's not metal, which is a blade.
Oh God.
But it's effectively the equivalent of like hide and seek in child's games that would be very useful in tactical combat.
All right. Hicks might need to do some refining on some of that.
And additionally, while this conversation is happening, how high are the ceilings of this area of our keep?
No more than 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet.
Okay, cool. Walking in, you hear a voice coming from the ceiling going, "Oh, where am I going?"
Oh,
As
Jesus
one of my new spells is spider climb.
Okay.
So I'm just walking upside down on the ceiling.
Hicks is like shaking his head, trying to wonder how he's going to explain to someone that they have to clean the ceiling.
Oh no.
Why are there just footprints up there? Except last time you rode Webford.
Yep.
Webford.
Now he is Webford.
Mhm.
Yeah. He has embraced his inner Webford.
I got it just from being a Circle of the Land druid.
Oh, well, Hugh,
Yeah.
there's this thing out towards the west.
Cool.
It's called a moon gate. Very old. Very old. Well, southeast from Narwhal. So the relation between Narwhal and R is the correct direction.
So you would have. So in that case, it would have been southwest if it was talking about those rivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because north, south, east, west.
Unless we're upside down. But I assume we're not upside down.
I still understand the area if that is the correct area.
Yeah, well, it's directly left on the map, basically.
Yeah, so left on maps is west.
Yeah. But either way.
Either way.
Directions given, and it's this magical portal type thing, and it's pretty important that we find it so we can prevent bad things from happening in the future by stopping something.
Alright, cool.
We just can't get more information until we figure out what's going on. But yeah, I'll give the correct directions, whatever they happen to be, and some
Yeah,
basic information.
I remember where the arrow was pointed. Into the forest will be southwest, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Oh, cool. Alright, well, I'm gonna...
Sorry about that. Yes, it should be southwest.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, southwest, direct west from us, pretty much.
Yeah. Hugh doesn't care what time of day it is. He's just like, alright, cool, make sure the soldiers train.
Yeah, I think Kix, you can handle that, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, let them know that
I know. I made the mistake. Yeah.
Let them know that the hilt of a blade doesn't mean that you've successfully tagged someone.
Yeah.
And then that's when he was gone.
Just kind of like look at his sword and go, "You can totally hit someone with the hilt. That's like half the moves you can do."
Oh boy.
You need to
Go
sword
figure out
train you
what
later,
that
Hugh.
training is.
That being said, like Hugh knows that they'll listen to him a certain amount, but they're not going to slash each other constantly like they're trained soldiers. He's just teaching them guerrilla
Hold their
warfare.
blows if they want to train.
Yeah, he's just effectively teaching them guerrilla warfare.
Cool.
All right.
But yeah, no, Hugh will totally go scout out, use spell slots in order to cover his bases, to on a regular occasion use his where is it? Use his primeval awareness, and he'll do his best to find this.
Okay, so you're on the map. Let's say you're here. Which route are you going to take?
Long would it take him to get there?
We are there. We go.
Yeah.
How long would it take him to get there?
I'm not worried about. So we're looking this general area.
Yeah, we're looking at
Yes.
So
Okay.
Narwhal, southwest should be.
Oh, in that case, I'm going straight across.
Yeah, because it's past the second bend, so it should be in here.
Yeah. In that case, 1 second, let me pull up an arrow. Boom. He's not worried about going through contested space.
Okay, so start moving. Remember, you have 5 hours per.
Since it is just Hugh, we'll pull this out. Big Hugh. I have 5 hours per.
Okay, so that's like a
So
4
10 will
trip,
get me
maybe?
there. If we're counting the first one, are we counting the first hex?
Oh god,
Okay.
it's so big.
Big Hugh.
Big
He's
Hugh.
humongous.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
dragon sized, but larger.
Okay, so that would be the first 10 hours.
You don't count the first hour because you're exiting. So yeah,
Oh, perfect. In that case, boom.
sorry, my bad.
5 hours
I'm gonna
per.
go there, and on the way, I
Mhm.
would like to at some point you speak with animals.
Okay.
And see if I can get in contact with either a wolf or a panther.
You find a wolf.
I'm like, so.
So like, there's a pack of wolves, and one of them sort of wanders in your
Oh
direction.
hell yeah! I'm like, hey, your coat looks super cool. I'm looking for some ancient sort of portal technology thingy, probably made of stone, in either this area or the next space.
And he does a dog thing where he kind of looks at you like he doesn't understand the way you phrase it. He has no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. Old structure. And I will point in the direction.
Human house?
It's not a house.
Probably elf.
Well, no pointy ear humans around.
Hmm.
No pointy ear men's around. Big men's around. No pointy ear men's around.
Big men?
Big men's, yes.
Stone trees?
No.
He's trying to see if there's anything with pillars.
No stone trees.
No stone trees?
No.
Where big men?
And he points at basically to the west. Big men's with little men's that scream a lot.
Oh.
Shout. They shout a lot to the big men's.
Got it. Anything you need?
He gets it fast forward and actually just scratches the ear.
Oh, absolutely will.
And he's a wolf, so you're tiny, he's huge, right? So,
Yep.
And the other wolves come in, and it's like they get jealous because you're scratching here, so they all, contesting,
Oh, yeah.
So after a while, the wolf that approaches sort of growls back, like, step back, and the others are like, okay, fine, yeah.
All right, cool. Help hunt. Keep me safe overnight. And to help them hunt, I will turn into a wolf.
Okay. Yep.
And then, do we get to the next day?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next day I will go here, and this is where I start looking.
Go ahead.
Now, if this matters, which I have a suspicion that it will, favorite enemy. My favorite enemy is giants.
So, then the first time we have a significant experience studying, tracking, even talking to a certain type of enemy. Choose the type of favorite enemy. Okay. You have enemies. Yeah. Roll your survival.
Okay.
With advantage.
17.
Yeah, I mean, again, whoever was doing this tried to cover their tracks, but you know what you were looking for, like, deep indentations and it's just not when you try to sort of move the earth, you see that there's a much heavier and bigger footprints. But these don't look like they're wearing any shoes. They look like somebody who's walking barefoot.
Okay.
So
I will follow them until I find where they would be.
Okay, so yeah, you find.
I'm also saving my wild shape once I'm doing that, just because I can use it for a quick escape if need be.
So you reach the map. Let's
Dope.
put you in the map. Do a stealth for me, and this was going to be very important.
I have advantage because I am by myself. Oh no, I have advantage from the help action, but I was moving at a regular pace because I'm by myself. 25.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you're in the map, and this is what you see. You see this structure right here that I put you.
Yep.
Which sounds like a gate of some sort. It has some encryption around it, and you see 2 giants guarding it and an ogre. And
Can
there's
I?
and some tents. You're here. You're in the bottom.
Yeah. Can I make a nature check to see what I know about them
About
and what might be their the way to deal with this in a non-violent way?
you can make a nature check to see what kind of giants they are.
Okay, I have advantage on this because same ability. It's an 8.
They're giants. 3
Hmm.
giants. 2 big giants and 1 smaller giants. Okay, apparently they're the big mens that
Okay. Well, Hugh likes people, and Hugh's pretty charismatic.
okay.
So Hugh is just gonna walk up. 10, 20, 30. And he just goes, in giant, hello, I wish to converse.
The giants get up and they have bags among them. They grab stone, and when you say that, from the tents, which are here, figures emerge.
Let's see these figures.
Hobgoblin, hobgoblin.
Lots of hobgoblins.
Babo,
All of the hobgoblins.
Babo.
One of them shouts in Goblin to you. Are you lost, runt?
Don't speak goblin. So in giant again, I'll just go, I'm sorry, I don't speak what he's saying, but I know the big guys can understand me.
And this is guy says something in Goblin, but garble like and he says something bad like he goes like this.
Oh, if he does that, in that case, I'll just wave goodbye.
And they start picking rocks and they're about to chuck it at you. So
use my action, turn into a panther, and book it.
Well, initiative.
Hell yeah.
Be careful.
Oh, I'm not worried one bit. Even with a low initiative, I'm not worried. I got a 6.
Yeah, I figured out what the problem was last time. I was for some reason if you just click on the character that gives you the rundown from the Dungeon Master's Guide, but you have to actually take the creature and put it in your
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But
in the
yeah,
journal. Yeah. So they're gonna do their initiative. You're going at 6. Let me click on one of these guys.
I'm really tempted to try and take one of them take one of these guys out before I leave.
I think maybe
Go
meta
simultaneously.
here.
I think it's a bad idea, to be honest.
Meta talk. Maybe just leave. Oh, well. Simultaneous initiative, at least.
You're starting to run. You get at least one chuck of rocks. Let's see how your range.
Oh, you have a.
Oh yeah, you're within.
extra.
Yeah.
You're in Panther form, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. Because I was talking. Then we rolled initiative.
So 2 rock chucks.
Hell yeah! Throw them at me.
Ooh.
That's fine.
Well, they're not crits.
I have no problems with that.
You say that now.
I think you're down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna see if I have any reactions, but I don't think so. There was absolutely nothing I could have done to stop that after the initiative started.
I mean, you go simultaneously, so you can do your own actions, and they're gonna do that. Everything gets resolved. You get to do your thing.
Oh, so that's happening.
If you
That's
turn
happening
into another
as I do my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you can
perfect. If that's the
wild
case,
shape and live.
They didn't beat you. You go in 6. They go on 6. Just that
that's fine.
no matter what they do, they're gonna chalk rocks. That's just what they're only gonna do.
Okay, so in that case,
and they're gonna hit because they chalked the rocks.
in that case,
But
I'm at 10 health, and I would have started moving. So how much movement would I have used before I got hit?
You get your full movement again. What happens is
that might change it.
You start moving, and they chug it. I mean, here you don't. I mean, you don't have rules for how long it takes for a rock to go to and hit the target. Not that it happens all in the space of 6 seconds, right?
In that case, I'm at the edge of the map.
Yeah, they hit you, and
I'm actually technically off the map.
Yeah, you run, right?
Yep.
Bloodied and savaged by the rocks, and the rocks kind of breaking. And you hear like one of the guys go like, what happened? And you hear some voice saying in Goblin, like, and they just stop. Like, but yeah. Had they beat you by 1 point in initiative, yeah, you would. That's 100%. The thing. Yeah.
That was not fair. 2 of them threw rocks at one Hugh. Hugh does not like this. Hold on.
You did find it, though.
He did. You are not wrong. Hugh's gonna have to come back to this. But before I travel
you hear that some of the goblins, right, are spreading out. You hear the noise that they're searching for you, like beating the bush around the area, like but you're long gone. I mean,
yeah, Panther with bark skin, so I'm more difficult to hit. Gone. When I get to a reasonable distance away, when I know I'm not being followed, I'm going to pop a heal. That will get me to full because Healing Spirit has a whole bunch of different times where you can enter and exit.
That's a lot of text.
Mm.
That is going to heal me for 9. Enough for spellcasting modifier +1 3 times.
Oh, he still got hit.
9,
Yeah, but he
18.
trained. I mean, the thing about being simultaneous things that he happens simultaneous. There's no interruptions outside of a bonus action. If all thing happens simultaneously, like if you fire a fireball and I shoot you an arrow, the arrow will hit and the fireball will hit. Right? I don't get to interrupt your action unless I had a ready-made action or I have something like a bonus action that can interrupt. Yeah, but he was transformed. Yeah, no, he transformed himself into
a panther.
Panther, got hit, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
I had
panther took
yeah.
damage, which allowed
I-
him to go to 10.
I effectively had 55 health.
yeah.
But yeah,
Otherwise-
no,
Otherwise, he would have been smeared on the ground, bleeding and dying.
yep, I'll head back. Inform them of the giants that need to die. Also, that there is hobgoblins there, but giants that need to die.
So you found it. There's
Oh, yeah.
hobgoblins and giants.
And the giants, they threw rocks at me. Big ones.
They saw you?
Well, I walked up and said hello. Because I didn't see the hobgoblins. And I was like, oh, I can speak giants. I'm going to see if they want to be helpful.
Sure.
I've studied them. Because they're real big.
Why would
And-
you walk up to them?
Why not?
Well, did you get hurt?
Yeah, but I healed myself afterwards.
You could have died.
You can die every day. You could die in your sleep from someone sneaking in.
I know. Trust me on that one. But you would want to preserve yourself so you don't die that day. Imagine if you didn't come back.
If I'm meant to die, I'm meant to die. Like, it's all good.
Interesting.
Oh, I spoke with some wolves on the way there too. The wolves were cool. I pet them.
Oh, well, that's cute.
Well, no, that means like on the way back, like if we go there as a group, they won't try and hunt us because I can be like, hey, yo, what's up, wolves?
Well, apparently we need to do this sooner than expected. We don't have that much time before it opens again. About how much is a week in this universe?
6 days.
7 days. 7 days.
Seven?
Yeah, I think it's still
Okay.
7 days.
About a week before it opens.
Okay. So we increase the guard a little bit, but we also make sure that they get more rations when it comes to food. And then we go. Hold on, is the Elven Ambassador here currently?
Yes.
I'll be like, and how about we do this? If we're going to do this, I'll promise a favor to the elves, because I want to help them anyways, in exchange for them watching and somewhat bolstering for the time being when that we're gone. If they accept that.
Picks, opinions.
Well, our armies are raised. They're at the ready.
Yeah, and then just if the elves can even just help them keep an eye out, the favor's on me. It's not a favor. It's an exchange of me helping them for them helping me.
Well, I don't hate it. Seems good. We are gonna have to deal with those ogres and hobgoblins, though.
So do we have
Those are
horses?
generally pretty tough. Yeah, we have horses.
Own a horse.
And
Well,
how
we
many
also-
people can go on a horse?
Well, we have a unit of cavalry, right?
That we do.
So
Is that going to be our intention? Is there an army there, Hugh?
There was two big giants, a little dumb giant, and hobgoblins.
Gar, you think your army can take 2 giants, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. Gar's not the one taking out at least one of those giants.
What?
They threw rocks at me. No one throws my own rocks at me unless I throw those rocks back.
I'd love to see you pick up a giant's boulder. Your
Okay.
armies defend our territories in our absence.
Yeah.
Right, but your army has to go with you wherever you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Your entourage.
The
Or more
yes,
specifically,
his entourage.
lessons to clarify. Our armies aren't completely leaderless if we go do an adventure. Is this correct?
No, they're not leaderless. So you can actually give them standing orders. So.
They
Okay.
at least
Yeah,
have
their
the
standing
paladin, right?
orders are just to defend the territory and retreat to the keep if they really need to. So
Yeah.
that itself is not an issue.
Yeah,
We
no.
can leave for a small week and come back.
Yeah, remember the whole these rules are designed, they're not designed in lieu of you adventuring. They're designed to supplement your adventure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? They're like, oh, we can't do anything because we gotta keep, so now we gotta just do the keep. And we're only I mean you can do that if you want, but
So
these
we
rules
don't
are
have
so-
to worry
yeah.
as much about it for the time being, I think.
Yeah.
So am I going to talk to the Elven ambassador?
I don't think it'll be necessary. They know their orders.
They could
Okay.
probably defend even if they don't have us around. I mean, there's the paladin, right? So
Yeah.
Alright, Gar raises his army to 21 and 1.
God, there's so many.
Yeah,
How is there so many?
this would be good.
Necromancer, man.
I don't
It's a
know what
good
the-
use
some
of
of the
spell
bodies
slots.
we've been killing.
I don't know what the limit is on like how many undead you can have with the spells. So
It's something per casting, and he's using all of his slots possible for the castings.
yike.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, my 4th level spell that I got is Dimension Door.
Ooh, very
Smart.
cool.
So
Slot unused. Yep.
I was thinking about some of the other ones, like the fear one that deals like 4d10 or whatever. But apparently, if you save on either of the saves for that spell, nothing happens, and so it's just kind of bad.
Okay. Still, I think
Dimension
we are ready to set out. We will head out together, and we must stop these giants. Even if there was not some terrible plot out there, having them wandering around would be no good. Especially with Hobgoblin Escort.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh boy, Secret News even.
It's a 4th level spell.
Oh, that's
Yeah, good question. How many days?
Well,
Because Gar is keeping track.
let's see. With Hugh's help, okay, Hugh, I'm gonna have to take you out of that.
Yep. Yeah, that's all cool.
No counting the first one is 3. It's 15 hours of travel. If you just, just
Can
book
I-
it. But
Can
you
I
will have to
find
make.
the same wolves?
No, they moved on.
Okay, cool.
Actually, good point. No, we don't have enough for the skeletons to move fast, I believe.
No.
That's the critical thing that would slow the party down as a whole. So
In
we
that
are
case,
marching.
yeah. In that case, we'll move.
Then Bearcat, Hugh, Gar, how critical is it that we get there in a single day?
Well, we have like 6 days, right?
Then we'll take 2.
So what I say we do is we push 4 extra hours the first one, because then we still have enough time to sleep. Then we can get the next day early.
Right. So we'll head out there, we'll make our camp, and then we'll engage them. Sound good to everyone?
Yep.
Alright.
Okay. That's our plan lessons.
Okay. This is going to be just before we go into battle. I'm going to walk up and tap Barakat on the shoulder, and just be like, because you're squishy and stuff.
Yeah. Oh. Nice. Well, thank you.
No problem. I just don't
Now-
want you to die.
I also prefer not to die.
Perfect.
Yeah, I assume that.
Yes. Yeah. Just before we attack.
Now, you do have to keep concentration on that.
That's fine.
Then
I'm going to
I
be
think
120 feet away from the fight if I really want to.
Fair enough. I'm also gonna be like 60.
we do have an archery core. We could literally extend this out just a little bit outside of what we assume to be their range through the forest, and just pepper them with
Where?
arrows and force them to advance
Forest would
upon them.
probably provide some cover, though, from the arrows.
Probably provide
Yeah,
cover
but
from some
let me
rock.
put it this way: because of the limitations of what we're working in, you have to be on the map.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So,
fair.
yeah, I mean, I can't measure what you're, oh, hey, yeah, I mean, technically you can be as far away as you can be, but yeah.
Yep.
Did I add a lance to my
Alright.
sheet already? Sure did.
Having spent some time now traveling, can I see if I can recall any more details about the giants?
Sure, you can roll.
15.
Okay, so let me see what I can tell you about them. They are hill giants. They're not known for their intelligence. In fact, they're known to be rather primitive.
Okay.
Unless they are commanded by someone with its great cunning and leadership ability, they prefer to, the bigger the person commanding them, the better. They're known for their stupidity, their deadliness, and that they will basically consume almost anything that their teeth can grind. Now.
So effectively, what do I know about the character sheet? Because I have the hill giant sheet in my head without looking.
Okay. I mean, I can tell you what the stats are.
No. I'm good. I know low armor class, big hits, dumb.
Yeah.
I know the type of attacks they do.
What the
And they're extremely aggressive.
Yeah,
Like,
I share all of this. I confirm with Gar as we talk to get all those details out because he got a 20.
Cool.
extremely
I
aggressive,
have an intelligence save somewhere.
not very clever.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I have enemies abound, which is really good in this fight.
Very good. Actually, does anybody have like a lantern or oil?
I own a torch at the moment.
That won't
You
help.
ever actually got a real lantern at any point?
No, I don't have any. I have a bar of soap.
Oh, I got tons of those.
I guess I have a regular longsword now.
Nope. It's all good. That just means I'm not going to be able to try and cheese something.
Okay.
But yeah,
Do the hill giants or anything have any specific special abilities that we would know about through you?
Not that we have not that I haven't seen.
Okay. They're just like
Not that I haven't seen.
hit things.
They throw stuff, they hit stuff. Aggressive, deadly, lowest of the giants.
And very dumb.